Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I will be showing you a custom Silph Cup which I did in my local tournament. And in order, if you don't know what a Silph Cup is, a cup is basically kind of like the holiday cup or the Halloween cups like GBL, but in the Silph Cup the only difference is you are matched with players and then you get to see their team of 6 and you bring your team of 3. So here what I will do is show you the 3 match I played and how I won the DS Cup. So what is the DS Cup? So because Silph did not have an official cup on January, what my friend decided was to create our own meta, and this is the same person who gave me the auto reg battles. And so thanks Jamie for the DS Cup meta. So all the restriction for DS Cup meta, or the meta for DS Cup, is the you are allowed Gen 4 and Gen 5, which is the Sinnoh and the Hoenn region. Any Pokemon is allowed except for Scrafty. Scrafty was the only overpowered Pokemon in our opinion, and well, in Jamie's opinion. And so yeah, so here I will go through my team with you in a minute, but yeah, so I'll show you how I won. I went 3-0, but I won all the matches 2 out of 3. So yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, so the first thing we need to look at is my team, and my team consists of Jellicent, Mandibuzz, Stunfisk, Ferrothorn, Bastiodon, and Toxicroak. So here my and then we look at my first opponent, who is Raven2838, and their team consists of Bastiodon, Bronzong, Toxicroak, Gliscor, Frostless, and Galvantula. So they actually have a very good counter to my Toxicroak. So they have Galvantula, which will do okay against, Frostless, which does good against, Gliscor completely walls it, and Bronzor with Confusion will completely wall it as well, and Toxicroak as well. So I know that my Toxicroak will not have a good time there. However, they have that Bastiodon, which if I don't bring my Toxicroak, the only other thing in my team which will play really well against her team is Stunfisk. So let's see how I decide to choose on what I do and what to bring and how I play the games. So yeah, so the first match I lead with Stunfisk. I bring Ferrothorn and Jellicent, and in the first match we go into Stunfisk into Galvantula. Good lead for me, very good lead for me. So here I will try and get as much energy as I can. They swap into Frostless. The Frostless, I don't really have a good counter, so I will throw the Mud Bomb and I get the shield. And I switch into Ferrothorn. Even though Ice is neutral, my Ferrothorn, I'm running it with Flash Cannon, but here because of the shield and how quickly the Frostless gets to the move, I'm gonna bait with Power Whip, which does a lot, and they don't shield, which ends up helping me. Here I know my Ferrothorn will be able to tank any one of the move. Avalanche, it comes Avalanche, which I managed to tank, and I have enough to threaten the second shield, or they will let the Frostless go. So they let the Frostless go, I win the secondary matchup. So in comes Gliscor. So where it's a bit of a problem for me because I don't really have a good counter for Gliscor, but I have to let the Ferrothorn go. So in comes Jellicent, and the Fury Cutter is not doing much because of the ghost typing, but the Nice Slash will start ranking up, and if she gets a boost, that will get even worse. So I'll go for the Bubble Beam, because at least that way if I can get the shield, that will be good, and I do get the shield. Here I need to manage to get a Shadow Ball. The quick switch into Galvantula, but I'm quick in my response to go into Stunfisk. I eat the Discharge, any move it throws to me, it doesn't matter. I throw the mud bomb, and this should take the Galvantula out. Oh, not no, it should get Galvantula low. So, but the next mud bomb should be able to take it out. I don't need to shield anything here. It can debuff me all it wants. And yeah, it comes with the next mud bomb. And here I can farm down and have enough energy to throw at the Gliscor. I don't need to shield anything again, so it should be good. So yeah, I farm down and I'm pretty low, which is good because the Gliscor that doesn't get too much farm. I quick switch into my Jellicent to get the Night Slash. They get the boost there, I think they get the boost there. And they will go for the second Night Slash, which if it wasn't boosted, it wouldn't have done as much damage. So almost takes me out. But my luckily my Stunfisk has enough enough energy to throw one mud bomb, which is enough to take it out. Here I should be going to discharge, but doesn't matter. I go for mud bomb because in the later match I find out that discharge actually does more damage than mud bomb does. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, here you can see me quickly looking back and forth to see what to bring, what to bring. So I'm 1-0 up. It's a best of 3. So I bring in Mandibuzz, and as long as I don't get Frostless, I'm good, and I get Frostless, which is not a good matchup to start with because I'm not running Foul Play. If it was a Foul Play, this matchup would have been better. But Dark Pulse gets CMP with Frostless, and Frostless wins the CMP. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll try to catch the other. I'll get the shields out, so I'll shield this and I'll throw the Dark Pulse again, and I'll try to catch the next Avalanche on my Bastiodon, because that way I can still keep my Mandibuzz healthy, and I do catch it with my Bastiodon. So the Avalanche will not do that much to Bastiodon at all, but they bought their Toxicroak, which is an awful thing for me. She can completely farm me down, but she decided to mud bomb me here, which is fine. So here I have to bring in Unova Stunfisk and throw a mud bomb. The mud bomb should be enough to take it out. If not, it'll be very close, and it's very close, and that gives it enough energy to throw a mud bomb, which is not good for me at all. So I've lost the switch, and I'm very low on my second thing, and they also still have their Frostless. They bring in their Gliscor, which is also not looking good for me because yes, I can throw the Dark Pulse here and a bit of lag, but doesn't matter. But the Frostless will be enough to take me out. I panic. I think I could have gotten to the Dark Pulse. No, I don't think I actually couldn't have gotten. So I do the right thing and throw the Aerial Ace. Avalanche takes me out. I do take the Frostless out, but it's nothing I can do against a Gliscor here. So they win she wins the second match. So it's 1-1 at the moment. So let's see what happens. So I start with Jellicent against Frostless, which is not bad as long as I don't get hit by a Shadow Ball. They come in with Gliscor, or she comes in with Gliscor. So here I have to do is Bubble Beam to get the shield, and I'll switch into my Ferrothorn. So Ferrothorn, even though it's a flying, it's ground flying, the Power Whip does quite a lot of damage to Gliscor. So I throw the Power Whip, and now I'm 2 shields up, and this is looking good for me. So here I don't need to, the Earthquake may possibly take me out, but because of the Bubble Beam, it doesn't actually do that much damage at all. So maybe if it wasn't Bubble Beamed, I may not have survived, but it would have been very close. So they will switch into Toxicroak, and here I'll come in with my Stunfisk because I have shields. I think I will shield the first Mud Bomb, and I will get enough energy to get to the second Mud Bomb. my own mud bomb. So in comes the mud bomb. Yep, and I catch the next mud bomb on my Jellicent, which I don't need to shield. I don't actually, and it's actually a Surge bomb, which is actually much better for me. And here I can hex down. I don't have to shield at all here. So I take the mud bomb and I hex it down. So whatever comes in will get hit by a shadow ball, and they come in with their Gliscor. So I don't do any of the any of the animation, because I knew the Gliscor was very low. And then in comes the shadow ball with the Frostlass, and this should be enough to KO. So there you go, that's the first game. So next round I am paired with CHIPPERPOKE, who is an extremely talented battler, and he's usually around the legend. He gets around like 2900 rating in the GBL. We're always talking about when he's gonna meet rank 10 or rank 24 in this case. And in Silph, in the last few seasons, he was the player to beat. He was literally #1 in our local tournaments, and he even went to like top 5 in UK, and like he won our regionals. So he got invited to the regionals and then won the regional in this Silph Cup. So he is an extremely talented battler, and I have always come close to beating him, but never managed to beat him. But luckily in this cup I managed to beat him. So let's have a look at the battle. So he let's have a his team consists of Toxicroak, Mandibuzz, Sunnycherim, Empoleon, Gliscor, and Frostlass. So again, I have a problem with Frostlass, which counters quite a lot of my team, so that's not looking good for me. And the Shadow Gliscor can also be a problem. But the one thing I notice is once you take the Toxicroak out, the rest of the Pokemons are kind of weak to Bastiodon. So my play is to make sure that I can line up Bastiodon to one of the Pokemon. But let's see how I go with the battles. So yeah, I start off with Jellicent on Empoleon, which is not a bad lead for me, because the waterfall is resisted, whereas the Hex will generate energy much quicker. So I go for the Bubble Beam to see if he will shield, but he doesn't, which is not good for me. And I let the first thing through. Even if it's Drill Peck, it wouldn't do that much damage, as you see. Yeah. So he switch into Cherim straight away. So I come in with my Mandibuzz. And even though it's a Dazzling Gleam, which does over half of my health, I know that Mandibuzz is tank enough to take it. So yeah, I'll straight here. All I need to go is straight Aerial Ace. Fearing the second Dazzling Gleam, I shield, which is he gets a shield advantage here. However, if he doesn't shield this Aerial Ace, it's looking good for me. So in comes that Empoleon again, and I throw the Dark Pulse. So this Dark Pulse will do quite a lot of damage. It makes it all the way down, almost all the way down, and then I do a quick switch to catch the Drill Peck here, which is good. I am 2 shields down, but here all I need to do is if I throw the Bubble Beam, and I get a shield as well, which is very good for me. And in comes a Toxicroak, and here I need to throw the Shadow Ball and hope it doesn't get shielded, but it does get shielded. So here I was rushing to see if I can get to the Bubble Beam, but I don't. But I have my Stunfisk. Here I just need to make sure that I throw my Mud Bomb, and the Toxicroak will be enough to take the Toxicroak out. So yeah, I overtap a bit to get a little bit more energy, which wasn't a good thing, but yeah. So one more Thundershock is enough, and then a couple more Thundershock is enough to take the Empoleon out. So yeah, 1-0 against Dan. against CHIPPERPOKE. So yeah, it's 1-0 against Dan. So the next match, if I win the set. So let's have a look how it goes. So here I bring in that Mandibuzz, thinking that Mandibuzz will be good, and I bring in Ferrothorn and Stunfisk. So I get the lead matchup of Cherim. So all I have to do here is not get 2 Dazzling Gleam, and it should be my game. So I win the lead quite hard. So here I just have to keep going for Aerial Ace. And here again I don't have to shield the first one, so I don't. So the Dazzling Gleam does come through, and I go for the second Aerial Ace and see if he's gonna shield or not. He don't, so I get the first game very clean. So I need to find out. Wait, and they have their own Mandibuzz, which here it becomes I don't even know which move to go for. I think flying does not resist flying, so I go for Aerial Ace, which is the right call. But my Mandibuzz is quite low, and what he's trying to do is get an energy advantage by snarling me down a lot. But because I have so much health, he can't really snarl me down. So he throws the first Aerial Ace and then now tries to farm me down, and then because he tries to farm me down, I manage to get to another Aerial Ace to do enough damage for the Mandibuzz, and gets it to quite a low down. So I will come in with Stunfisk, and because Stunfisk is quite tanky, I know that it will be able to handle Dark Pulse or Shadow Ball or Foul Plays as he's running it. So I will take a couple of foul play, and I know the Thundershock will outpace it, so I go for the Discharge, and he catches the Discharge on his Gliscor, but I have counter switch with Ferrothorn. Here, Ferrothorn I shouldn't have shielded, but I didn't know how much energy he had, because a Shadow Earthquake would have been enough to take me out. So here all I need to do is make sure that I don't get an Earthquake, which I don't, and I have to throw this Power Whip. If this Power Whip will take it out, so he will have to shield it, so he does shield it. So here I'm on a shield advantage. All I need to do is shield and go for the next next power whip. He switched and I counter switch really quickly to catch the Aerial Ace, which does absolutely no damage to Stunfisk. I will be able to get this Discharge off, and here I should be going, and the timer is running out and I have 2 Pokemon, so I should be winning, and I should be going for Discharge, because I think the Discharge would be enough to take the Gliscor out, which it doesn't, and that because the timer runs out, I win the game, because I have 2 Pokemon versus 1, he has 1. So yeah, here it's 2-0 up, and this is the first time I've beaten CHIPPERPOKE. So yeah, looking at my team again and trying to decide what to bring. So like I said, Bastiodon is a good thing to bring in this situation, and I do bring Double Steel with my Stunfisk, because Bastiodon, if it's not Toxicroak, it's a good thing to bring. But then I decide, no, I'll bring the Toxicroak through, and this is what my thought process is here. And then I bring that Mandibuzz, and I look at his team, that Mandibuzz has quite a lot of good matchups. So I bring in Toxicroak and I get the Empoleon lead again, which is very lucky for me. In comes Frostless, so I counter switch with Mandibuzz. Here I know that as long as I can get the shields, I will be on equal terms, and I will be able to handle at least 1 Avalanche, whereas the Frostless will not be able to handle 1 Dark Pulse. Even though I said in my previous match that I don't really like this matchup, here in a counter switch, at least I know that even if I lose, I should be able to what do you call it, I should be able to come in with Toxicroak and completely farm it down. So I do bait with Aerial Ace, which is good for me, and then Avalanche comes and takes me out. So here I have to come in with Toxicroak, throw a Mud Bomb, and hope that it takes it out, because if it doesn't, I'm in big trouble. And it does takes it out. I know that they won't come in with their Empoleon, so in comes that Shadow Gliscor, which is not looking good for me. So here I am switch locked, I think, so I can't really do anything. So I throw the Sludge Bomb. I know it's both moves are resisted, but Sludge Bomb does more damage and it's a shadow, so I throw that, and I throw my Discharge here, and it's enough. So in comes the Empoleon, and I throw the Discharge again, and hoping to get to the next one, and it's not enough. So yeah, that was the last game. So it was nothing I can do. No, I mean, it was really close. So yeah, so next match is for the finals, and if I look at I'm paired with DRDOX. So if I look at DRDOX team, the only thing that my Bastiodon doesn't win against is the Toxicroak, and the Bronzong had some play, but other than that everything is weak to Bastiodon. So my strategy here is to make sure I don't align Toxicroak to Bastiodon, and this should be enough to get me the game. So let's have a look at how this battles goes. So start off with Bastiodon against Toxicroak, which is not good. So I have to quickly switch to Jellicent, but because of lag I get two countered, the Toxicroak gets a couple of countered through, which is not good for my Bastiodon. But they come in a bit slow to the switch to Galvantula, so that's why the Jellicent managed to throw the Shadow Ball. Here I should have actually gone for Bubble Beam, at least if I thinking about it, but the idea of not shielding was quite big for me, so I go for the second Shadow Ball, and this does do quite a lot of damage, and it's almost enough to take the game, but it's not. So the lunge will come through and take me out. Here I come in with my Stunfisk, and I just have to make sure that the Stunfisk does get aligned to Toxicroak, which it does. So in a way I'm actually negating my Bastiodon meeting the Toxicroak, which is good for me here. So I'm gonna go for Mud Bomb here, and it gets shielded because it would at that range will KO it, and I go for the second Mud Bomb, and they do perfect switch to catch the Mud Bomb on Frostless, but here all I need to do is completely farm the Frostless down, and any damage is actually good for me, so that the Toxicroak doesn't get that much farm. I have a shield, and this is my mistake to why I lose this game. I shield here. I don't need to shield this here. I can let that Mud Bomb go through, and it would have taken me out at that range, and then I could have come in with my Stunfisk and won the game. But they get the next Mud Bomb, and I almost get to the, and I do get to the Mud Bomb, and it becomes a CMP, and Toxicroak wins the CMP. So the first game goes to DRDOX, which is not looking good. 2 out of 3. I need to win the next 2 games if I want to win this championship, this tournament. So here I look into his team, and I think about what to bring, and I bring in Mandibus, and and I lose the lead very hard to Shadow Above My Snow. So I come in with my Ferrothorn, and they counter switch the Toxicroak, which is good for me, because all I want to do, I want to bait out the Toxicroak so that the Bastiodon can roam free. So it gets mob dome and gets completely countered down, which is fine. I will come in with my Mandibuzz, and here I don't really want to KO it straight away. I want to get enough health, enough energy, so that I can threaten a shield to the Shadow of Snow, which will counter switch to me. So I build up to 2 aerial ace and throw the first one, which takes the Toxic Rock out, and then I throw the next one, but because of CMP I think Snow gets the CMP, so I am happy to shield once. So I throw the aerial ace here, and I think this gets the shield from them. So yeah, I get its equal shield. I come in with my Bastiodon, and they brought their Cresselia, and even though it's a kinda is a 2v1 game here, Bastiodon, Cresselia with the moveset of Grass Knot, Moonblast and Psycho Cut, nothing it throws will do any damage. Look at that, Grass Knot does about less than 10%, so I don't have to worry about anything. So here I'm playing the long game of completely farming it down. Maybe I'll actually throw a Stone Edge just so I can get it low enough so I can farm it down. So I do throw the Stone Edge and I get enough, and I quickly switch to get a Snarl to get the Cresselia. In comes Snow, which is fine. Here all I need to do is I don't need to shield anything here. Any move it throws at me will not be of any worry. But I do get the defense fall, which is not looking good for me, but Powder Snow is just not strong enough. I just need to shield this one and smack down it down. So it's 1-1. Let's see how the last game plays out. Here I've thought, like, he hasn't brought his Toxic Rock, so maybe if I lead with my Bastiodon I will win, and I do lead, and I finally get a good lead to Snow. In comes Toxic Rock, in comes Mandibuzz. This is again pretty much the similar thing. I'm not really looking to kill it straight away. I throw the aerial ace, and I don't think the aerial ace will be enough to one-shot it, so it should give me some farm. So yeah, it does. Here I just go for the second aerial ace because I don't want to lose the switch, and because if I can win with a shield advantage, it's really good for me. In comes Snow, and I do get to the next aerial ace. I think he was trying to completely farm me down, which is fair enough. It's good, it's the right thing to do, and I get the shield. So here in a switch and shield advantage, there is no way I'm losing this game. In comes Bronzor, which is fine. I'll come in with Ferrothorn, and Bronzor, anything what Bronzor throws to Ferrothorn I don't have to worry about. So Psyshock resisted, Bulldoze resisted. So well, Bulldoze would be actually neutral, so maybe Bulldoze would have been the better way, but Bulldoze takes long time with Confusion to get to. By the time I should be able to get to 3 Power Whip. So I throw the Power Whips. Again, I'm at this point I'm happy to let it go. He throws the Psyshock. I think he's trying to bait a shield from me, which is fine, and then here I throw the Power Whip and he shields, which is a mistake, but it wouldn't make a difference. I would have been able to come in and completely smack it down anyway. So I throw the Flamethrower, which will one-shot the Snow, and in comes the Bronzor. Here I can just shield once just to respect the Bulldoze, and then completely smack down the Bronzor. So yeah, that's how I won the DS Cup. So yeah, if you like Silph content, I will be making a Labyrinth Cup, my thoughts on Labyrinth Cup video. And if you only like your GBL, I will be making a video on how I lost 300 points in a couple of days, which basically how not to play GBL. And yeah, if you like my kind of this kind of videos, if you like how my channel, how the videos are coming, please subscribe, and I will make more videos. Thanks, bye.